Okay, today we're going to talk about PL/SQL programming. Now we will start from the very basics, but before we start, I'm going to assume certain things, and my assumptions are as follows. Assumption number one is that we have some very strong knowledge of SQL, especially SQL for Oracle. In fact, I would say that you should be thoroughly aware of all the SQL basic commands, all the functions, all the data types inside SQL, insert, update, delete, DDL, DML, all those basic things. Plus, how to write joins, how to write subqueries, all that stuff you should be very much aware of. So that is my first assumption that I'm going to have, so that we will not have any challenges going ahead in the PL/SQL programming language. The second assumption I'm going to have is about Unix. Actually, it is not really essential that we know Unix commands when we are learning PL/SQL, but in this course we are going to develop our PL/SQL programs inside an Oracle database which is running on a Linux platform. Linux is a derivative of Unix, and therefore I'm going to expect that at least some basic commands are the things that we know, and I have listed some commands over here. Commands related to directories. You should know mkdir command, you should know rmdir command, you should know cd command, the ls command, pwd. These are all directory related commands. And some commands related to files. You should know how to copy a file using cp command, how to rename a file using mv command, how to delete a file using the rm command, and how to see what contents are there inside that file. So basic Unix commands are going to be very helpful because we are going to learn PL/SQL on a database which is running on Unix, which is running on Linux platform. If you are running any other tool, there are many other tools like Toad. Let me write it down here. There are tools like TOAD, Tool for Oracle Application Developer, or SQL Developer. So these are the graphical tools which run on Windows machines, and in that situation you don't need to know a lot of Unix commands because you will be actually working inside that SQL developer. I will also show you how these tools work later in the chapters as we proceed further, but at this time I'm going to assume that we know Unix commands before we proceed further. Then the most important thing is I'm going to assume that we know a editor called as VI editor on the Linux box. I know it is kind of troubling to learn the VI editor, but I'm going to assume that you know it. If you don't know it, go and Google on that, and then you will be able to find out how to write inside that editor, how to create a new file using VI, all that stuff. So typing, if you are on Windows you need to know Notepad, if you are on Linux you need to know VI. That's the only difference there. And then I'm going to assume that we do not have any prior knowledge of any programming language. If you have already done some programming in C, C++, Java, any of those basic fundamental programming languages, it is going to be very helpful and useful to understand the programming. But the way we will discuss things, we are not going to assume that we know any programming language. So these are certain assumptions, and then we'll proceed further, and therefore I will see you in the next video.